Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is our Holy Week Contemplative Prayer Meditation and the last of what we're doing in our series on Gifts of the Dark Wood. So I just appreciate all of you that have been here live, that have listened later in the day, and all the comments and feedback I've received. So thank you. So let's just take a moment, and as we've done in the past, go ahead. I invite you to close or lower your eyes. And we're going to start with 3 deep breaths. So take a big breath in and let it out with a sigh. Whew. Let's do that again. Big breath in and let it out with a sigh. And one last time. And just allow your breathing to find its own rhythm. We're just going to take a moment to just check in with our bodies and get fully present in this moment, letting go of whatever may have happened already today and letting go of anything that might be happening today so we can be fully present in this moment, fully in our bodies, fully able to hear God's voice right here, right now. So as you do a scan of your body, if you notice any places where there's tension, feel free to move that, maybe pat it, wake up, move your feet a little bit, whatever you need to do. Breathe a little extra love into those places. And I just want to take you back. We started this journey back on Ash Wednesday, where we heard, in the middle of the road of my life, I awoke in a dark wood where the true way was wholly lost. In the middle of the road of my life, I awoke in a dark wood where the true way was wholly lost. We have come a long way through the dark wood together. So we started on Ash Wednesday, where we learned about Peter and how he was the rock and the courage it took to step out of the boat onto the water, and how we're never really alone. And the humorous part of Peter, the name Peter meaning rock. So I just want you to just take a moment and remember back to the beginning of this journey for you, whether you were at the Ash Wednesday service, whether you just listened to the first meditation. And that was a number of weeks ago. That was the beginning of March, over a month ago. And feel the difference of how you feel today and how you felt then. And we started out with a part of looking at where those sweet spot moments are. David shared about the tennis racket, finding the sweet spot in the tennis racket. And how it isn't that we get lost in the dark woods, we awaken in the dark woods. This is a good place to be. So we started with the gift of uncertainty. Remembering that it's do not worry about anything until it presents itself to be worried about. What gifts did you find in the gift of uncertainty? How did that show up in your life and allow you to grow? How did God speak to you through that gift? And then we looked at the gift of emptiness. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make sense. Do you remember that? So how did God speak to you through the gift of emptiness? And then we move forward to the gift of being thunderstruck. The gift of being thunderstruck. Do you remember that? Listening to the voice of God and the rumbling, how it rumbles and reverberates through you, and that it's not as important where the voice of God comes from, but more important how it comes to us through our intuition. So in what ways did God's voice reverberate through you during this journey? And then we looked at the gift of getting lost. I know that was one that was an interesting one for me, remembering that the trees aren't lost. And sometimes standing still long enough to allow unexpected love to find you. Stand still. The trees ahead and bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger, must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again saying, here. No two trees are the same to the raven. No two branches are the same to the wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. So what gifts did God have for you in the gift of getting lost? And then we explored the gift of temptation, but not in the way we normally thought of temptation. This was looking at how the temptation to do the wrong good can be very strong at times. And we explored that question, what is the good that I'm called to do? Is this my good to do? What gifts did God have for you in the gift of temptation? And then we went on to the gift of disappearing. Do you remember that one? Turn sideways into the light, as they say. The old ones did, and disappear into the originality of it all. Be impatient with explanations and discipline the mind not to begin questions it cannot answer. And we explored what it was like to turn sideways and disappear. To turn sideways to those things and those people that give us an identity that really is too small for us. Turning away from small ideas of ourselves, allowing those to disappear as we showed up fully and authentically and wholeheartedly and allowed God to speak to us. So what gift and how did you hear God's voice in the gift of disappearing? And last, we explored the gift of misfits. The cloud of witnesses that we have, whether they're mentors, companions, or communities of faith. Who are the misfits in your life? And how did God speak to you through the gift of misfits? And so here we are, having explored the gifts, and the question becomes, where do we go from here? In Holy Week, we have the opportunity and a choice to really look at, and this is the time Jesus descended into one of his darkest wood times. And we have the opportunity to look at how Jesus's journey, how our journey mirrors Jesus's, and what we can learn from that, how to stay connected. And as we go through the next few days and look at and go through the Last Supper and the crucifixion, the betrayal, and then the resurrection, are there times in your life that have been similar? Times maybe where you felt like you were on top of the world and then were betrayed, felt betrayed, and had to go through a kind of death to something that you knew of yourself to be. And then what emerged after that? What was your resurrection experience? In each and every moment, we have the opportunity to connect to life wholeheartedly. And that's what this whole gift of the Darkwood journey has been, is helping us see that no matter where we are in life, God is there, wanting to speak to us, wanting to surround us with unexpected love, and wanting us to live a life completely authentic and wholeheartedly ours to live. And so as you go through this week, and as we go through Holy Week together, I'd like to leave you with this blessing. May the Spirit of the living God, made known to us most fully within life's dark wood, go before you to show you the way. Go above you to watch over you. Go behind you to push you into places you may not necessarily go yourself. Go beneath you to uphold and uplift you. Go beside you to be your strong and constant companion. And dwell within you to remind you that you are surely not alone, and that you are loved, loved beyond your wildest imagination. And may the fire of God's blessing burn brightly upon you and within you, now and always. Amen. Thank you for joining me, and have a blessed week.